the communication from the other party. That is what ghosting is. Like, there's no, like, you have just dropped off the face of the earth.
Okay, I've done it.
Why?
I've done it.
Why?
I told you.
And I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just trying to get an understanding of why people don't have the conversation and they just fall off.
Maybe it's what happened that gives the why.
Okay, give me. I could see if you lied to me.
Mm-hmm. There's certain deal breakers.
Yeah, there are deal breakers, but
yeah. And that required that the best response is ghosting. Just bye. And without a bye. But all you see is a puff of smoke.
Yeah.
But do you ever go back to have the conversation about why?
That's why it's a ghost, because this leaves you haunting.
Right.
It's haunting.
It's not
like,
happening
what
again.
happened? Why did that happen? And then when it happened to you again, you be like, what happened? It's a sign from God letting you know you are doing something wrong.
It's a sign from God.
It's a sign from God. It's the Holy Ghost that's trying to tell you you are foul. You did something wrong. You didn't listen. The man told you there's one thing that I just will not put up with, and you did it. He told you don't do this. Why? For his reasons. You said you understood. You agreed. You did it anyway. Mm-hmm. Now, when he don't show up again, ghosting. The Holy Ghost has just told you.
You know what?
Bye for him. Here she coming to honey.
I can't with you and these side effects.
Where the
B3?
So, okay, I've been ghosted, and it wasn't anything that I don't know if it was something that I did or not, because he never called me back.
It was you. No.
And you don't know if you ghosted somebody because you don't know if they,
Not Jeopardy, though.
Yeah, Jeopardy. We had a little bit of that early this morning, and my mind was not ready for it.
Mm-hmm. But it's delayed devastation.
Right, delayed. You're absolutely right. But listen, I never knew if it was something I did or something I said. They just never called. They never returned phone calls. And back then we had beepers. It was a little while ago. But I never heard from them. I never heard from them again. And maybe when Nicholas was a teenager, and this was maybe when Nicholas was 1 or 2, and then I didn't see them again until Nicholas was a teenager. And you talk about an awkward moment.
Man,
it was completely awkward. So what I'm trying to figure out, instead of having these awkward moments years down the line, what is the problem with just having a conversation? Like, it could be something as simple as we were at a restaurant, and this is just hypothetical. Look, I couldn't deal with you. We were at a restaurant and you burped at the table and I just couldn't take it. So I just decided not to talk to you anymore. Or when I was at your house and you were in the shower, I heard you using the bathroom. So I just, that kind of stuff. I'm like, why isn't there a conversation about people who you invest your emotions and feelings and time into?
Okay, let me give you a bit of an answer here.
Okay.
Only because this is the way I felt about it. Like, okay, if it was a real relationship, like, okay, where I'm really like investing my time in you, where I consider a real investment of time, not just me, what you doing, and then, pop by, hey. No, if I'm giving time to you, I got to talk to you. But if I ain't really into you on that level, it kind of depends on your mindset and where you at, too, in your life, too.
Yeah.
So, like, I was younger. So I was kind of like, I don't want to deal with the repercussions of him saying whatever he got to say. I really don't care. Like, I'm out. No matter what he say, I'm gone. So, I don't know. I think it kind of depends on your mindset at the time. What you're looking for.
Yeah, and I think it has a lot to do with maturity, because we did some crazy stuff when we were younger. But let's just keep it in the box of adulthood, because the research that I did online, there are people ghosting in their 40s and 50s. There are people ghosting in their marriages. Like, people are just walking out.
It's like an aha moment. I think I'm done. You know what? I'm out of here.
So I when I did my research on it, it said it was something that was really kind of birthed in the mid 2000s, where it became popular for the term, and it was really associated with social media, because that's how most people were communicating. You can have a great relationship online and then meet the person for the first time and be like, oh no, I don't like that, and then never talk to them again. So now you was talking every night, and you may have been in Arkansas and this person was in Minnesota, and you had a great conversation till y'all finally met, and then somebody didn't like something. Maybe he got in the car after she pooted and he thought it smelled like a grown man, and he was like, oh no. And he decided, I'm never going to call this woman again.
That might be a deal breaker for a lot of people.
Yeah, it could be. But that also kind of points back to the maturity level, where even at 40 or 50, a lot of people are starting to come into their stride, so to speak, meaning things have finally connected and they're living this new life where finances are different than what they've been before. And some people think and kind of get it twisted, where they might have been with somebody for several years, many years, and when things start clicking for them, they think that they can do it by themselves, and they just go ahead on off and leave because they think they got now this new world they have, or this new money, this new lifestyle, but it's really connected to the person they were with, and they quote unquote ghost, but find out later maybe that you played yourself, because you should have stayed where you were, but maybe they felt like they got caught up in themselves. They got their little degree, they got their little promotion, and now they're living in this place where they driving like they've been wanting to drive. They spending how they like to spend. It's a lot of old bros out here that's thinking that they're younger than what they are, and going after young girls and thinking they living that life, and it's a game.
I read a story about, I think she was in her late 30s, early 40s. She was in a relationship with this guy, and they had date night every Friday. And every Friday they would go dancing. And, they had this little pattern that they did every Friday. Well, Valentine's Day rolls around, and they had a plan. They were going to go to breakfast. They were going to go to the museum. They had this whole plan for the entire day for Valentine's, and they were in a relationship for 2 years. No call from him in the morning, no call from him in the afternoon. By 6 o'clock, and she, how women do, got her makeup together, nails done, hair done, and she's describing all of this in the story. He shows up at 6 in the evening, rings her doorbell, and he's just standing there, and she says, well, what happens to you? He turns around, he gets in his car, and she's watching him get in his car, and he drives off. Hello?
Well, there is something out here called mental illness.
Yeah, but
and it's so good that you say that, because she said that he was in college to be a mental health therapist. How crazy is that?
Yeah. Because that's what we're dealing with. It's an epidemic out here. We're talking about opioids. It's some mental health issues going on.
Yeah, so when you get to that strain or issue of ghosting, now that right there is crazy.
It's just his meds ran out. Get that brother.
It has nothing to do with any meds. When I read the story, I'm thinking, well, maybe he was with somebody else. And when you asked him the question, how did you ask him the question?
Right.
And because he showed up to your door for a reason. He just didn't show up for no reason.
Right. That's the creepy part, though. You just
and maybe
there and look at me, bro. Like,
I'm throwing something at the back of your head.
Some old snap type stuff. You coming back later.
It's like crazy. So we know that people ghost. How do you handle ghosting? I've been ghosted. Oh, have you been ghosted?
I'm sure I have, but I am a unique individual. I can delete things from my brain. Like
Yeah,
that.
I can too, but feelings are feelings.
However, I will say this, that now if it were to happen, I'm more likely to question what was wrong with me. What did I do? Did I do something? Because now I know what it is, and I've done it, and now I'm aware of the effects that it had on me in terms of what would cause me to ghost, and mine was part bench warming. You said, is that benching or something like that?
Yeah.
So I did a combination of the
warming?
benching and the ghosting.
Did you stash?
No, I don't like stashing. Interest bills and stashing, I don't want to pay, because it goes the other way of interest bill. That's that debt. That's a negative interest.
Yeah.
No, I don't do that.
Yeah.
I just say, no, you got to sit down because this is not working. Mm-hmm. But if I got ghosted, back then I didn't pay much attention to it. I just moved on. Now, to get ghosted, I would wonder, what happened. In fact, I take that back. I did get ghosted recently this summer. And I did have an opportunity to follow up, and I found out that it wasn't me. They were going through something that they weren't comfortable sharing at that time. And when they shared it with me, I understood why. Not only did they ghost, they stood me up on a date. It was just ridiculous. I was like, what the heck? No call, no nothing. I just deleted everything after that. I was like, I'm not going forward with this. But then I found out a couple months later, they were really struggling with some stuff. They had some businesses they were working on, some books they were working on, some self things were going on. Their confidence was down.
Let me ask you a question. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but when you hear stuff like that, is it really an excuse? Because you still not owe me, but I believe you deserve the conversation. Look, I got a lot of stuff going on. I really like you, but I just don't have the capacity right now.
Yeah, but
you're still owed the conversation.
Answer that, Free. I got to answer, but you answer.
It's still the repercussions. Nobody wants to deal with that. So if I don't want to hear what you have to say, then why say anything to you at all? I might as well just leave. Like, it is what it is now. You got to accept it. There's no going back. So it is what it is.
Well, I'm on the other side of it, where I have even most recently posted things on my Facebook page talking about self-care and self-love. And I really believe in that, where to the extent where I could possibly be saying that, well, it could be a negative against me. However, I think that for what that young lady did, I think she did the right thing to look out for her first. She didn't really owe me an explanation. I would have liked it at that time. When I got it, I was satisfied. And I think that's why I'm even saying what I'm saying now. Then it was like, man, well, she couldn't say something. She couldn't tell me what it was. I mean, what is it? Did I do something? Did somebody say something to her? It was all these thoughts going on in my mind. But now, after talking to her about it, I get it. She needed to take care of her. And maybe that ghosting is not such a bad thing. You might be getting spared from something that you don't really need in your life, or they might be going through something where they really need to focus on them, and you might have been sort of a seasonal person as opposed to something that should have been, you might have thought would have been
a seasonal person. What is that? A seasonal person?
People come in your life for seasons.
Let me tell you, I try to get with everybody's opinions, listen to everybody. How you feel is how you feel. I'm not going to judge you for anything, but that's a bunch of bull.
What?
It's a bunch of bull because you're a mature adult. You've entered into a relationship with someone and you just leave. You stop calling. You stop returning calls. It shows your level of respect for who I am.
Okay, so you learned what respect was to you at that point.
To me. And just listening to you, if I was in that situation, no, nobody owes you anything. But when you enter into a relationship, even a friendship, and we're, and we have this, I don't know, we're friends, we're in a relationship. You